Okay, Arsenal's attack is getting scarier by the day. There's no way this Arsenal attack is real, like genuinely, this shouldn't be possible. Arsenal have scored 24 goals in the Premier League this season. They've created 118 chances, the most in England. Their expected goals sit at 21.5, proving they aren't scoring lucky goals. These are high-quality, well-crafted opportunities and goals. And here's the part that makes absolutely no sense. Their main striker, Viktor Gyökeres, hasn't played since early November. Their other striker, Kai Havertz, hasn't featured since August. And somehow, Arsenal's attack has been the most dangerous in the entire Premier League. On the left, they've got a Brazilian speed machine who's dismantling fullbacks every single week. On the right, they've got England's most consistent winger, a player defenders can study for hours and still can't stop. Up front, when they don't have a striker, they just put a midfielder there, and somehow it works even better. And in the number 10 role, they've got a player who stepped in for their injured captain, and he is performing magic already. He scored one of the greatest hat-tricks in North London derby history. Let's not forget their defensive midfielder Declan Rice. He's not sitting back anymore. He's bombing forward, creating chances, and becoming one of the most complete midfielders in Europe. But all of that, every goal, every assist, every moment of brilliance has happened without their two main strikers on the pitch. Because soon, Gyökeres is coming back, Havertz is coming back, and Martin Odegaard, he's already back. When Arsenal get their full attacking lineup fit and firing together, this isn't just depth. This isn't just talent. This isn't just Arteta's system in full flow. This is an attacking force that has defenders checking their calendars, hoping they don't have to face Arsenal next. This is why there's no way this Arsenal attack is real. All right, let's break down the facts. Arsenal have impressively scored 24 goals in just 12 Premier League matches this season. That's 2 goals per game, more than Chelsea, more than Manchester City. But it's not just about goals, it's about how they're creating them. Arsenal have created 118 chances this season, the most in the entire Premier League. Their expected goals sit at around 21.5, which means they're not just shooting from anywhere. They're generating high-quality opportunities in dangerous areas and are making almost every one of them count. They average 15.7 shots per game, third highest XG in the league. Chances coming from open play, set pieces, quick transitions. Every avenue of attack is firing. And here's the context that makes this ridiculous. Viktor Gyökeres hasn't played since the 2-0 win over Burnley in early November. Kai Havertz hasn't featured since a substitute appearance against Manchester United back in August. Arsenal's two main strikers, the players who are supposed to lead the line and finish chances, have been missing for weeks. Some teams would collapse without their main center forwards, but for Arsenal, they've just kept scoring. He played Mikel Arteta as a false 9. He rotated attackers into central positions. He trusted the system and the players around them to compensate. 24 goals scored already, 118 chances created with a makeshift attack, an XG of 21.5 built on tactical intelligence and relentless movement. This isn't lucky. This isn't Arteta's masterclass. This is what happens when a manager builds a system where everyone can hurt you, not just 1 or 2 stars. Most teams rely on their strikers for goals. Arsenal have proven they don't need to. Arteta confirmed both strikers are progressing well in rehab, with scans scheduled soon. They're close, very close. So if Arsenal are already the most creative team in England without their full attacking lineup, boy, what happens when everyone's actually fit? The right wing belongs to Bukayo Saka, and it has for years. At just 24 years old, Saka is already one of the most consistent attackers in Europe. He doesn't have off days. He doesn't go missing in big games. He just delivers week after week after week. His 1 versus 1 ability is terrific. Yes, fullbacks already know he likes cutting inside onto his left foot. They've prepared for it, and he still beats them. They've studied it. The double step, the body feint, the burst of acceleration. By the time defenders react, Saka's already gone. But he's not just a dribbler. His crossing is pinpoint. His decision-making is mature. He knows when to take his man on, when to play the quick pass, when to shoot. Against Bayern, he delivered the corner that led to Timber's opener. Against Tottenham, he was constantly threatening, forcing saves, creating space for teammates. This season, Saka has been involved in goals consistently. Assists, key passes, shots on target. He's Arsenal's most reliable attacker. Behind him, there's Noni Madueke. Madueke missed games due to injury earlier this season, but he's back now. And when he plays, he offers something different. Where Saka is patient and calculated, Madueke is direct and explosive. He attacks space with pace. He shoots shoots with confidence, and he's got that hunger to prove himself every time he steps on the pitch. His first Arsenal goal came against Bayern Munich, a calm, composed, side-footed finish after coming on as a substitute. That's the kind of impact Mikel Arteta wants from his rotation players. The right wing isn't just covered, it's dangerous, elite, and deep. Saka is world-class and starts almost every game. Madueke provides genuine quality when he's called upon. Defenders can prepare for Saka all week and he'll still find a way through. And if they get a break, Madueke comes on with fresh legs and haunts tired defenses. That's not luck, that's good depth. And it's one of the reasons Arsenal's attack never stops threatening. Gabriel Martinelli is a different beast this season. The raw talent was always there. The pace, the energy. He could run at defenders all day long, but something's changed. He's smarter now. Watch his movement off the ball. He doesn't just run forward, hoping something happens. He times his runs to perfection, arriving between defenders, exploiting space behind high lines, showing up exactly when teammates need an outlet. Against Bayern, he scored brilliantly, one of the goals of the season, a perfectly timed sprint from his own half, reading Eze's pass before it was even played. Then, he smartly rounded Manuel Neuer, who was practically at the halfway line, before calmly rolling it into an empty net. That's not just pace, that's intelligence, vision, composure under pressure. His finishing has improved too. He's no longer snatching at chances or blazing shots over the bar. He picks his spot. He stays calm and scores. 4 goals in 4 Champions League appearances this season. That's elite. Then there's Leandro Trossard, the Belgian who makes everything look easy. Trossard doesn't rely on blistering pace like Martinelli. He relies on something harder to teach, and that is craft. His first touch is velvet. His decision-making is instant. He knows where defenders are without looking, and when he shoots, it's almost always on target. Against Tottenham, he opened the scoring with a brilliant piece of skill, controlling a difficult pass, turning in tight space, and squeezing his shot into the back of the net. That's what Trossard does. He solves problems, tight spaces, that's no problem. He finds the gap even against compact defenses. If you need someone to keep the ball under pressure, that's Trossard. He never loses it, and he's versatile. Arteta can play him on the left, through the middle, even as a false 9. Wherever he plays, he fits seamlessly. Here's why these two wingers are dangerous. Martinelli stretches defenses, his pace forces fullbacks to drop deep, creating space in behind and in front. He's a constant threat to run in behind, so defenders can never fully commit forward. Trossard operates in the spaces Martinelli creates. When defenses sit deep to stop Martinelli's runs, Trossard thrives in tight areas. When defenses push up, Martinelli punishes them with pace. You can't prepare for both profiles. If you sit deep, Trossard picks you apart. If you push high, Martinelli burns you. And Arteta rotates them perfectly. Martinelli starts when Arsenal need directness and pace. Trossard comes in when they need control and composure. Sometimes both play together. Trossard central, Martinelli wide. The flexibility is endless. Arsenal's left side isn't a weakness. It's not even just good. It's 2 world-class attackers with completely different strengths. Both firing, both keeping defenders awake at night, and that's just one side of Arsenal's attack. But this is where Arsenal's attack truly comes alive. The number 10 position, the space between midfield and attack where games are decided. And right now, it belongs to the new magician Eberechi Eze. Eze wasn't supposed to be the main man. He was brought in as depth, as rotation, as someone to ease the burden on Martin Odegaard. But Odegaard got injured, and Eze didn't just step up. He exploded. Against Tottenham, he scored one of the greatest hat tricks in Arsenal history. 3 absolutely sensational goals. The first, a thunderous strike from the edge of the box. The second, just 35 seconds into the second half. Composure under pressure. Perfect finish. The third, another clinical display of technique and timing. That's not a player filling in. That's a superstar. His movement is exceptional. He drifts into pockets between the lines where defenders can't reach him. He receives the ball under pressure and never panics. He threads passes through gaps that shouldn't exist. Against Bayern, he was brilliant again, creating chances, linking midfield to attack, delivering the perfect pass and assist for Martinelli's goal. What makes Eze special is his vision. He sees passes before they're on. He understands space instinctively, and he's got the technical ability to execute under the tightest pressure. He's not just keeping the seat warm for Odegaard. He's proven he deserves to be on the pitch regardless. And then there's the evolution of Declan Rice. Rice was signed to be Arsenal's defensive anchor.
Best midfield player in the Premier League?
Oh, he's very close. He wouldn't be the best for me. If you're talking about all-round midfield player, I would say Declan Rice would just pip him for me.
The guy who sits deep, wins the ball back, and keeps everything stable. But this season, he's become something else entirely. He's still doing the defensive work, winning tackles, breaking up attacks, controlling the tempo, but now he's attacking. Late runs into the box, driving forward with the ball, creating chances, shooting from distance, and he's literally everywhere. Against Tottenham, he nearly opened the scoring in the 3rd minute with a perfectly struck volley that Bukayo saved brilliantly. Against Bayern, he was immense, winning the ball back in midfield, driving forward. Mikel Arteta himself and pundits have praised Rice's offensive growth. He's no longer just a defensive midfielder. He's a complete box-to-box force who impacts both ends of the pitch. His intelligence is what stands out. He knows when to push forward and when to sit deep. He doesn't abandon his defensive duties. He just picks his moments perfectly. And when he does go forward, he's dangerously unstoppable. Here's why this midfield duo is so terrifying. Eberechi Eze operates between the lines, finding space, threading passes, creating chances with his vision and technique. Declan Rice powers through the middle, breaking lines with his runs, arriving late in the box, adding a physical and athletic dimension that's impossible to track. Defenders can't mark both. If you focus on Eberechi Eze, Rice will surge past you. If you track Declan Rice's runs, Eze will pick you apart with his passing. And the craziest part? Martin Odegaard just came back. He played a few minutes against Bayern, easing his way back to fitness. When he's fully fit, Arsenal will have 3 world-class creators in the same team. Odegaard cooking from the number 10 role, Eberechi Eze rotating in or playing alongside him, Rice bombing forward from deep. How do you stop that? No way. You just hope they have an off day. Because when all 3 are firing, Arsenal's attack doesn't just create chances, they drown opposition with them. Here's what makes Arsenal's attack truly unplayable. It's not rigid. There are no fixed positions, no players locked into one role, no predictable patterns that opponents can study and shut down. It's fluid, constantly moving and constantly creating chaos for opposition defenders. Watch any Arsenal attack and you'll see it clearly. Martinelli starts out wide from the left, then drifts central. Saka cuts inside from the right, and suddenly Timber is bombing down the touchline. Eberechi Eze drops deep to collect the ball, so Rice pushes high up the pitch. Merino moves into the false 9 space, dragging center backs with him. And now, there's a massive gap for someone to exploit. Arteta has built a system where players don't stay in their lanes. They rotate, they interchange. And that constant movement creates chaos for defenders. Because the moment you figure out who you're supposed to be marking, that player has already moved and someone else has taken their space. The fullbacks are also key to this. Jurriën Timber and Ricardo Calafiori don't play like traditional fullbacks. Sometimes they drop inside and become extra midfielders, giving Arsenal numerical superiority in the center of the pitch. Sometimes they push high and wide, stretching the opposition. Sometimes they overlap the wingers and deliver crosses from the byline. This is what Arteta calls creating superiority. Arsenal don't just pass the ball around hoping for an opening. They deliberately engineer situations where they have more players than the opponent in key areas. Overload the left side with Saka, Timber, and Eze all converge, forcing the opposition to commit bodies. Then one quick switch of play, and Martinelli is isolated 1 versus 1 on the opposite flank. And it's not just about the starters. Arteta's rotation players fit seamlessly into this system. Leandro Trossard can play on the left wing, centrally, or even as a false 9. Wherever he goes, he understands the role immediately. Noni Madueke provides fresh legs and directness when Saka needs rest. He doesn't need time to adjust. He knows the system. Mikel Merino can drop into false 9, push into advanced midfield, or sit deeper if Rice goes high up the pitch. He's the ultimate tactical wildcard. Against Bayern, the substitutes didn't just maintain the level, they raised it. Calafiori came on and immediately assisted Madueke's goal. Martinelli came on and scored. That's not luck. That's a system where everyone knows their role. The speed of Arsenal's combinations is what kills opposition teams. They don't hold the ball for the sake of it. Every pass has purpose. Every movement opens a new passing lane. 1-2s around the box. Quick switches to to isolate wingers. Through balls into space behind the defense, it all happens at pace and defenders can't keep up. This is why Arsenal creates so many chances. It's not individual brilliance alone, though they have plenty of that. It's the structure. Mikel Arteta has built a machine where every player knows when to move, where to pass, where to move, who to combine with, and when to strike. And because the system is so fluid, opponents can never settle into a defensive shape. By the time you've figured out what Arsenal are doing, they've already shifted into something else. This isn't just talent. This isn't just good players doing good things. This is good organization, meeting creativity, a good system meeting individual brilliance, and a tactical discipline creating freedom. And when it all clicks, when the rotations work, when the overloads hit, when the combinations connect, Arsenal's attack becomes almost impossible to stop. And if football teams don't figure out how to stop them now, then maybe, just maybe, Arsenal will conquer the football world for decades. What are your thoughts on this?